Vanakkam, my friends. In continuation with how to have a happy, healthy body, which is my mission in my life, today's video is about the power of balanced nutrition. Do you know that we all know that what we eat determines how we feel, how we think, how we perform, and how much is our energy. And in the modern times, one of the biggest epidemic that we are going through is food. Yeah. So nutrition is not just about eating. When it comes to food, people always think about diet or something like that. But a balanced nutrition is what we are looking at. And the 10 important points that we needed to look at is macronutrients and micronutrients, eating whole, unhealthy, unprocessed foods. Third is portion control. Fourth is importance of fiber. Fifth is role of healthy fats. Sixth one is protein for muscle and repair, carbs and energy and brain function. This is 7. Eighth is superfood for longevity. 9. Dangers of processed sugar. And 10. How to create a sustainable eating plan. Continue with the long format video so that you can dwell deeper into this conversation about the importance of food for a healthy, happy body. Nandri, Vanakkam. Welcome to the long format video wherein we will dwell deeper into the power of balanced nutrition. Food. When it comes to food, we are always looking at one of the basic necessary and need for our sustenance. In Tamil, what is the worst thing you can do to yourself is to eat food from an unloved hand. That is the most worst thing that you can do. So the main and the most important ingredient of food is love. The person who is cooking should be healthy, happy, so that they can bring in that passion. The people who are eating the food needs to be healthy, happy, so that they can enjoy the food. So food is always about sharing this love. Having said that one, on an esoteric way, today's video covers the 10 important aspects of balanced nutrition. The first one is macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are basically carbohydrates, fat, protein. They are the basic energy sources and building blocks. Yeah. So carbs helps for the energy. Protein helps us to repair and grow, and fats helps us to store energy when there is a need. And micronutrients are basically essential for immunity, brain function, and overall health. A balanced diet is something that balances, that has all the this balancing this micro and micronutrients. We know in the modern times we go extreme in extreme, and that brings us to the point number 2: eating whole and unprocessed food. Yeah, the more the food looks closer to the nature, more better it is. If it is organic, even better. If you can grow the food by yourself, it's even better. Yeah. Basically, because whole foods is equal to more nutrients, both macro and micro. Not a lot of nutrients are not killed off, or most of the times by cooking or over processing the food, we are bleaching the food from of its essential nutrients. So try to have as much whole food as possible. Yeah, eat seasonal, organic if possible, as I was already mentioning, and try to reduce packed food. As simple as that. A food is not to be in a wrapper, then try to avoid it. And I'm not saying that we should not eat, because I'm not there, so I cannot preach. You try to avoid it. Try to have whole home cooked food if that is possible, or someone who loves cooking. That goes back to our first point. The third one is portion control. Overeating by any way, even healthy food, can be very detrimental to the body. It can help you to gain weight, and it can bring in sluggishness and letharginess because you're eaten more than what you can chew. The classical example of a snake eating a big rat and are not able to move and getting caught. Yeah, so we don't want to be that kind of we don't want it to have that on us. So use portion control techniques. So basically, when you have a plate, try to fill it with as much vegetable as possible. Try to fill it with some protein, and definitely there should become carbs. Being a Tamil guy, without rice, for me, I cannot even understand the food. Definitely eating culturally comes into picture, and eating as per your tradition comes into picture, but you can try to balance so that you can get the first point, which is the micronutrients, and then whole food as much as possible. The fourth important point, which is one of the biggest issues in processed food, is fiber. Importance of fiber. Legumes, for example, dal, lentil, green, for example, are very much are very good source of fiber in our body, because our fiber, the fiber from the food helps the microbiome of our gut bacteria to thrive. All the processing removes all the fiber. They are adding extra sugar to bring in the taste, and fiber, they're reducing the chewiness from the food. So because of this, what happens is that the gut microbiome, the trillions of cells that stays in our gut and which is part and parcel of our body, are not fed, and they start eating us. Basically, they start eating the gut, inner layer of the gut, and this creates a lot of problems like leaky gut syndrome and other kind of things. So vegetables, fruits, whole grains and legumes are definitely a very good source of protein, fiber. A fiber rich diet keeps digestion smooth and metabolism strong. The fifth one is healthy fats. I come from a Tamil tradition, so we use a lot of ghee, a lot of coconut oil, and a lot of sesame oil, for example. But if you come from a tradition of olive oil, for example, avocados, for example, they are healthy fats. They are not non-trans fat. They are not processed, highly processed. Try to avoid highly processed oils like rice bran oil or palm oil, for that matter. Yeah. But again, anything and everything, as we discussed, anything and everything can be detrimental if you are going beyond the portion that you are supposed to have. Fat, on a very basic level, helps us to store the energy that is needed for us. As human body is developed, fat cells gives us this concentrated form of energy, and now what happened is that became a impediment to our evolution and healthy body. One of the biggest problems that we have also, especially if you are vegetarian, protein. That is our sixth point. Protein is needed for our muscles growth and repair. Protein, basically we are talking about 0.8 grams to 1.2 grams for every kilo of your body weight in terms of protein. Yeah, the rich source of protein is basically legumes, dairy, tofu, quinoa, for example. But if you're a meat eater, you can that we are talking about lean meats, fish and eggs as well. I am not a preacher of vegetarianism or veganism, because at the end, food goes down. Food is an individual preference, and you pick and choose your diet so that you find the right combination of food that works for you. But try to have at least 25% of your daily food intake and protein. I being a vegetarian, most of the time I miss the protein, so I do take pea protein powder. I do take shakes of protein powders and stuff like that. But I'm going far away from this wholesale whey protein that you can find it in the market. I'm going more and more plant-based, and I can tell you clearly, like we have Hemp Planet here in Oroville. The hemp powder has some 30 to 50% of protein. Yeah, and also we produce pea protein and other aspects of things which I really invite you to try, so that you can have the right amount of protein for you every meal. The seventh part is carbs for energy and brain function. As we know that our body loves the glucose, and the glucose comes from the carbohydrates. Being a South Indian, rice is my main form of carb. But if you look at my plate, I eat 20 instead of 25% of carb. Maybe we are eating 75-80% of the carb. And that also comes from a very polished rice where the barn is taken out and then there is no fiber and anything. So try to avoid that, but don't negate or don't eat, don't tell that I will not eat carb anymore. Please do add carb, because it brings glucose, which fuels our brains and the muscles. Yeah, best source is whole grains, for example, whole wheat, whole quinoas, for example, brown rice, sweet potatoes. They are all very good in carbs. Limit refined carbs like white rice, white flour, and something like on all the things. Carbs by themselves are not bad. As we were mentioning, excess of anything can be bad, but and also highly processed carbs are also very bad. Yeah, so try to have a carb that has been less processed, and enjoy sambar rice, which is my favorite food to eat. Yeah, the next one is superfoods. Superfood for longevity. One of the superfoods is a $1 billion industry, for example. Yeah, because we are lacking, we are not eating a balanced diet, so there is a need for an additional input from through superfoods. Depending upon the brand, depending upon the intention of the people who run the brand, the superfoods can be just a scam or it could be super healthy. The superfoods that I always have try to add is turmeric leaves, for example, moringa, for example. There is a superfood that I normally try to have. You can have kombucha, for example. That's a superfood for the gut health and probiotic health that it brings. Yeah. And superfoods, what happens is that it brings the trace elements and metals, minerals, and salts, for example, magnesium, potassium, for example. All this chocolate, for example, is a very nice superfood, as in the raw unprocessed, unsugared cacao, for example. Yeah, so try to add as much superfood to your plate as possible. And then the problem of processed sugar, which is the ninth point in our conversation. Excess sugar is equal to weight gain, inflammation, and energy crashes. Imagine you eat a piece of Indian sweet, Indian dessert. The sugar level spikes up and then it crashes down, and that because of the sugar spike, a lot of insulin is produced, and then that really takes all the sugar away, and then you have this crash, and the insulin keeps producing. At one point, your body decides that it cannot produce any more insulin, and then you go into the diabetes and other forms of issues. So try to avoid processed sugar. Please do have fruits as some natural sugar, so that is always good that you can eat, and you can always swap for natural sugars like honey, for example. Hidden sugars are there in, for example, if you buy crispy potato chips, for example, salted potato chips, it also has this sugar added because it enhances the taste. So be mindful of the extra sugar that you are eating without your knowledge. And the last one is creating a sustainable eating plan. The diets don't work, my friends. I tried, but habits through. And one of the things about sustainable habits is eat culturally appropriate food, but also not what is being cooked and what is easy. For example, my cultural appropriate food for us is a lot of rice, vegetables here and there. But I like to eat my sambar rice, but I like to eat some paneer along with that. For example, I like to eat some curd along with that. I would like to eat one or two vegetables along with that, so that I eat my own cultural food, because as much I love pasta, pizza, and other westernized food, it is not sustainable for me. So diet is not possible, but habits do. And so create a habit where you are eating culturally appropriate food. 80% of the time, eat good healthy food. I am as a beginner. Of course, you go change as you go along. 20% of the time, treat yourself, because if you really look at the television screen nowadays, most of the advertisements is for food. So basically, you are primed, you are pushed, you are challenged not to eat. You're challenged of your discipline when it comes to food. Yeah. So if you eat unhealthy food once or twice, it's not the end of the world. Don't beat yourself up. And now that it has gone bad, my diet has gone bad, or my proper eating habits is not there, just don't go follow the path. Eat once or twice and then come back. And then third one is meal preparation is a very nice way to understand and recognize what is the food that you are going to eat. Meal preparation is not only if you prepare the food and keep it in the fridge, that is one thing, or to have a plan about how you are going to eat. If you are cooking for yourself, this becomes a bit more easier, but if you are having a family, then you need to really sit with them and try to negotiate healthy, happy eating habit for the entire social. And then mindful eating, for example, overeating happens when you eat food mindlessly, just to fill in, and then you just start eating anything. So you try to take too much time for eating your healthy food, so that it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit that you feel full, and then you stop when there is time. And then try to have a healthy grocery shopping. Yeah, try to avoid picking up things that you know that you will regret later. So try to have a healthy grocery shopping. Try to keep a list and follow the list. Yeah, once in a while you can have crackers here and there, but you know that you're going to whatever extra energy that you're going to put, you have to spend it out. And then balanced nutrition is not about restricting yourself. It's about fueling your body the right way. So this is the message that I wanted to bring. Don't restrict yourself. You are a human being, and with the amount of possibilities. For example, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, some of the menus that was available to us was very limited. Now, when you open a food app, you can find food from Mediterranean to Italian to North Indian to South Indian to Kerala. Everything is available, and that is the biggest distraction that you're going to go through. So start saying no, and once in a while, don't restrict yourself, indulge yourself in the food. Start small, make better choices, and feel the transformation power of a balanced nutrition in bringing a healthy, happy you. I hope you like this video. Please do subscribe, and please do share this to someone who would like to listen to this. I am somebody who firmly believes that most of the information I spoke today, you already know it. This video stays as a reminder that we are human beings, and we need to be constantly told, constantly remembered, constantly advised how to live a healthy, happy life. And that is my mission of my life, to create a healthy, happy environment and society and bodies. Nandri, Vanakkam.